All right, what's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I want just quick disclaimer right now. This is not a full-blown review, but this is my first impressions of the new pressure washer that ChemicalGuys is coming out with. Now, I'm sure a lot of you know about this pressure washer. I've been getting tons and tons of comments from people and asking, hey, are you gonna review this thing? Are you gonna check this thing out? And absolutely I am. It's coming out on the 17th of this month, so just a couple days. They have an early release program for the 16th where you can order it, but I have one reserved. I'm gonna go to one of the local ChemicalGuys detail garage shops and pick it up on the 17th. And I'm gonna do my best to get the hold of that thing, test it, review it, get the actual usable numbers, test it with my little pressure gauge, test the water flow, all that kind of good stuff, and tell you my full opinion on it on Thursday, hopefully. But for today's video, I wanted to touch on some of the points just of what they have available on their site, because there's some things on this thing that are a little concerning to me, but we'll talk about that and go from there. Now guys, along with getting asked about this pressure washer a ton, another thing I get asked about all the time is how I run my detailing business, and I wanted to bring this to your attention, guys. I actually partnered up with Luke from Wilson's Auto Detailing, and he's going to be hosting a live training talking about all the amazing ways to start, build, and scale your detailing business so that you can have like a full-blown actual real-life business, not a side job, not a hobby, but an actual business. Again, I've been doing this for 17 years now, and it provides more than I could have ever imagined for myself and my family, which is the most important part to me. Luke also, he's younger than I am, but has built a phenomenal business himself. And in the live training, there's gonna be talk about how to market your business, how to actually run the business side, not just how to clean and detail cars, but also the business side, which is really the most important aspect on how to actually turn this into your living. So make sure to check out the link down in the description box. It'll take you over to a page to sign up for the free live training that's coming up. I believe it's September. It's coming up. It's 3 weeks to a month away, something like that. So make sure to check out that link. You don't want to miss out on this opportunity to really learn how to scale and turn this into your full-time job. Now with that said, guys, let's get back to this pressure washer. So let's go ahead and jump into the computer and talk about this unit. All right, guys, so right off the bat, here we are on ChemicalGuys website, and the first thing that comes up is their new pressure washer. This is introducing the ProFlow PM2000 Performance Electric Pressure Washer. Now, the first thing that I want to say about this is the rating that is on it is a little bit concerning to me. It's a small unit, and they are rating this thing right here. Here you go, maximum flow rate of 1.77 GPM and maximum PSI of 2030. Now, why does that concern me? Those are very specific numbers. As you know, most pressure washers are rated 1600, 1800, 2000, and so forth. They don't get into the 2030. The only ones that do are the Sunjo pressure washers. Let me go ahead and pull one up here for you guys. So here's the Sunjo SPX 3000, but this thing is rated at 2030 PSI, 1.76 GPM. So very interesting. Now on the ChemicalGuys one, it doesn't state, at least I'm not seeing it anywhere, that it is PWMA certified. PWMA is the Pressure Washer Manufacturers Association, I believe. But they do all the testing on these pressure washers. And what they do is, say there's a new pressure washer that comes out, they will go and buy a few different units, test them all, take the average, and as long as it's within a certain tolerance of what the manufacturer states, then they'll give their certification saying, yeah, this thing's within those ranges of performance. There's also a company called CSA, I think, CSA, and they're another outdoor power equipment testing company that certifies outdoor power equipment. And I believe Sunjo is under that umbrella. But I will say right off the bat, guys, Sunjo's estimations and things are not super accurate. So with that said, with this one, those numbers, again, 2030 PSI, 1.77 GPM, it seems like they're in that same realm with the Sunjo. I don't know who manufactures this thing for ChemicalGuys, but that's concerning to me. I will be testing those actual numbers coming up here as soon as I get my hands on this thing. So stay tuned for that, guys. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe down below so that you don't miss out on this upcoming video. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and keep on going, keep on looking at this thing. They actually have two videos right on the front here, kind of walking through the whole details of the unit. I'm not gonna show those. I don't know the legality between it on if, I don't want to show their videos basically on my video. I don't know how that works, but let's go ahead and jump into some of the specs. They show 200 hours of industrial design, over 20 years of product research. I don't know if that's the manufacturer's 20 years of research, or if it's just a detailer that's been using pressure washers for 20 years and, you know, fine-tuned to all the things that they want out of a pressure washer, and that's what they built on this. I don't know. 18 plus hours of technical drawings, over 1,500 hours of testing. Now, let's go ahead and go into the actual specs. So right off the bat, guys, here is the unit itself, right? Quick connect built in right on the front. I really, really like that. I always recommend to everyone when you get a pressure washer, throw quick connects on there. It makes your life so much easier. It reduces wear and tear on those connection points. Quick connects, fantastic. I really like that. Right on the right of it, it just has a basic on-off toggle switch. And typically these basic toggle switches like that are fantastic. You're not gonna have any issue with them failing over time. So I like that. Now, the caster wheels, not a fan of at all. I don't like that. I don't want the pressure washer moving around that much and potentially bumping into the car. So for me, wheels are a no-no. I personally don't like them. I know there's locking mechanisms on it, but it just doesn't seem like a good idea in my opinion. Now to fix that issue, they do include some little rubber feet. So if you scroll down here, number 12 right here, you can see there's some rubber feet. So you can replace the caster wheels with these rubber feet and then you don't have that issue. So I appreciate that they include both of those. So if you do want the caster wheels, great. If you don't and you're like me and you don't want that thing moving around, you don't have to. Now, as far as design goes, yeah, the thing absolutely looks great. I like it a lot. And one of the main features that I like is when the water inlet is on one side, the water outlet is on the other, so it just runs in line and doesn't get all tangled up. They did that with this unit, so that looks good. Power cord looks like it comes off the side, and it's a 30-foot power cord, standard with all pressure washers, really. They have storage for the nozzles right along the top here. And the cool thing about that is what they include. Typically, in my experience, 40-degree nozzles are the go-to, but this one they actually include, let's see if they show it here, number 8, full range of pressure washer tips. But it's basically, I think it's a 0, a 25, oh, sorry. I think it's a 0, a 15, 25, 40, and then a 60-degree angle, which is cool. I don't know if it's that usable, but I think that's cool that they include it. It'll be interesting to play around with that one. Now, do the pressure washer tips have different orifice sizes or little pinholes between each degree of nozzle? I don't know. We're going to test that as well. I know the Greenworks pressure washers do typically have a different size orifice. So when you go to a 40-degree orifice, you're getting the wider fan, but they also open up that orifice a little bit. It drops the PSI, increases your flow. Really good for washing cars because you're dropping that PSI to a more reasonable range. I typically like between 900 to 1200, somewhere in there. And then it increases your flow so you're able to rinse everything away nicer. So that's fantastic. Are they doing that with this unit? I don't know. Also, it doesn't state what kind of motor's in it or pump. I don't know if it's a universal deal. It probably is. I'm assuming it's not going to be an induction or brushless motor. So longevity wise, I don't know. Typically things like this are rated at about 100 hours of use. Now next up, guys, I'm going to go ahead and try and zoom in for you. Yeah, here we go. We're going to zoom in on this section here. Okay, so right off the bat, number 1, extension for your pressure washer lance. Awesome, fantastic, that's great. I think from what I understand from other pressure washer companies that I've spoken to, I think they're required to include that for, I don't know if it's legal reasons or what, but I think they're required to include that. The connection point, however, that connects into the pressure washer wand, I am not a fan of. That screams cheap to me. That's on a lot of cheaper, lower end pressure washers and a lot of the non-branded kind of no-name ones that you can find on Amazon. It's basically a little connection port. Instead of having it twist on with an M22 connection or having some sort of quick connect, this is technically a quick connect, but it's just you put it in and you turn it and it holds in with these 2 little plastic tabs. So I'm not a huge fan of that at all. So that goes along with that pressure washer wand. Again, I'm not a fan. The connection point for the hose is in front of the trigger, which I don't like. I like it to be at the end of it. Just keeps the hose out of my way more while I'm spraying the car. And also, again, the connection point on that is just a little push. You push it in, you slide it in there, let go, and it holds in there that way. Again, found on a lot of cheaper pressure washers, but I will say that kind of connection point comes on like the Portland 1750, I believe, from Harbor Freight. And that model, this is going to get a little confusing. That model actually has 2 different stock numbers or SKU numbers. One of them gets absolutely fantastic performance. The other one's not so great. So I don't know if they're making them from different manufacturing plants, but regardless, with that pressure washer, I tell everyone, replace the hose and pressure washer wand and all that stuff immediately because it's cheap. It's not good. Moving on from there, guys, they also do include this here at number 2. They include a separate little quick connect that you can attach to the foam, to the pressure washer wand. And same thing, it just presses in and turns. So I'm not that happy with that, but it is nice that they give you an option so you can turn this wand just into a, I don't want to say a stubby one because it does still have that little nozzle on it, but a medium grade one that is easier to manage. So that's cool. From there though, we talk about the hose. The hose that it comes with, they label it as extra long 20-foot flex hose. I will tell you right now, 20 feet is not extra long. 20 feet is standard for pressure washers. Sometimes they come with a 25-footer. 20 feet is not extra long, and definitely won't be enough to get around the car. You'll have to go halfway, go back around the other halfway. That's probably why they have the caster wheels. Yeah, for me, that hose, especially with that connection point, in my opinion, it's not what I want as a professional, and we will be testing that hose down the road once I actually get my hands on the unit again, testing how much it kinks, if it kinks, if it's super flexible, all that kind of good stuff. Moving along, guys, we do have, again, number 5 here is Quick Connect. It looks like that will go onto the end of your hose, and then it connects into the Quick Connect on the unit. Additionally, they do give you a little filter piece that is a Quick Connect to a separate piece, number 7, and right here, 6 and 7. The number 6 will attach onto the pressure washer onto the back end. It has a little filter in it, and then number 7 will attach onto your garden hose so you can Quick Connect in and off. Again, I like the Quick Connect. However, that number 6, the male end of the Quick Connect, it looks like it's plastic. It's a plastic housing with a filter inside. So again, the plastic, it just does not scream longevity to me. And as a professional, you're constantly using these things. And that's just, again, it's not ideal to me. Last thing here, guys, again, we have the pressure washer tips. I think it's super cool that they give you that many different options. So really good there. Now, guys, I will say I saw one of the kind of promo videos on Instagram that they put out with this thing. And I noticed it, and then I read the comments, and other people noticed it, and they replied and said it's nothing. But in the video, it looked like it was just water was leaking out of the casing of the unit substantially. Now, it may have just been that one unit. It may be in the one that they've been testing and got a little beat up. So I'm not too concerned with that. I don't think that's going to be a real issue. But in the video, man, it was really pouring out over here. In the comments, they did mention, they said, yeah, it was actually our hose connection was leaking, which I totally get. That can happen. You know, nothing negative on them about that. It can happen. But just in my personal opinion, it didn't look like it was coming from the hose. It looked like it was coming from the housing. So basically, guys, what my first initial impression of this thing is I don't like the accessories that it comes with very much. They seem cheap to me personally. The hose is 20 feet long. It has the weird connection point. The pressure washer wand, same thing, having those weird connection points. The plastic version of the Quick Connect for the rear where the garden hose connects, not my favorite. And caster wheels, again, not for me, but that's a kind of a mute point because they do include just rubber feet, so I would just be using it that way. With that said, I am super excited to get my hands on this thing on Thursday. Again, I'm gonna try and get that video out that day as well of actually testing the performance. Because the main point of these pressure washers for me, and now a lot of people get upset with some of my reviews because I'm constantly using aftermarket products, like the Uberflex hose and all those things that I love. But that's because a lot of these units, the hoses that they come with are just not good. They're not great, and so we'll find out about this one. But the main thing that I'm really excited about is the performance of this pump. If it's similar to that first Portland pressure washer that I reviewed, that thing got incredible numbers. It got good PSI. When you manipulated the size of the orifice in the nozzles, we still got good PSI, and we got a ton of water flow. So I'm really hoping for that with this unit. But again, it seems, just without knowing at all, the only time I see pressure washer PSI and GPM numbers like this one is on the Sunjoes. So are they manufacturing through them? I don't know. That's speculative. I have no idea. But again, we'll be testing this thing out very soon. So stay tuned, guys. Make sure you subscribe for that. But that's it for today's video. Please make sure to like the video. Make sure you subscribe. Turn on the notification bell on so you don't miss that one coming up. And we'll see you on the next one.